Final Destination Bloodlines came out. I kind of wanted to talk about this movie a little bit more, and I was wondering how I would do that. I figured, let's rank the characters' deaths. Let's get right into it. Alright, here we are with all of the quote-unquote deaths from this movie. I did not make this tier list, to be fair. I just looked it up, and that's how I usually do it. If the tier list is already made, and it's made how I want it to be anyway. Sometimes I'll add things, or sometimes I'll have to make an entirely custom one. We're just going to go in order pretty much that they are in the movie, which is how they are listed down here, which I appreciate. And we're going to start with the collapse. So this one is a little bit different, right? Because this death scene essentially didn't happen. This is the premonition that we're seeing and talking about. But if we base it on that and we compare it to the premonitions from the other movies, right? If I had to say the first one is S tier, the second one is S tier, the third one is A tier, the fourth one would probably be down in D, and the fifth one would probably be B. So comparing it on that level, I'm going to say B. That's where we're going to throw that one. It's nothing too crazy and different. It's very interesting, but it drove me nuts. Like, the people standing on this glass and not doing anything about it, like, for fuck's sake. There were some really cool deaths in here. A guy getting sliced in half by an elevator. That's pretty cool, right? At the same time, it's a little unrealistic how quick and, seamless it was, but that's what we get with these kind of movies. And while we're talking spoilers, Tony Todd appears in this scene as a child. It's not actually Tony Todd, right? It's his character. But I kind of knew what was happening based on how obvious it is that this kid is somebody, and it's a character that's going to be important, you know what I mean? With that information, we know that Tony Todd said that it was actually going to explore some background for his character. So I kind of put two and two together. But aside from that, we do eventually get to see her kind of like stopping the incident from fully happening. We didn't get to see the whole thing, which is interesting. It happens completely different in this movie, which is fine. It doesn't always need to happen the same. We got to try some stuff. But let's move on to Iris. Now, I fully expected Iris to kind of like be in much more of this movie, so I was kind of shocked, but like she sort of announces her death before it happens, so it's not that shocking, It's just kind of like, okay. Now you could argue that it's kind of obvious that when everybody's going to die, but we'll get there. I don't think it is, at least not in this movie. I really appreciate in these movies when you think people are going to die one way, and then they don't. That's always fun for me. Iris's is going to go C tier, let's be honest. Nothing crazy for me. Howard. Now this is one I knew as soon as this character came on screen. I was like, oh shit, I've seen the trailer. I know this is a guy who's going to get killed by a lawnmower at this barbecue they're going to have. I was still pretty excited to see it. I love seeing people get killed by lawnmowers. The last time I think I remember seeing someone killed by a lawnmower on a movie screen was The Happening in 2006. And by the way, talk shit on that movie all you want, but I like watching it. But Howard's death, overall, I'm going to give it an A tier just because it's so fun, and that's a very tense scene. That's one of those scenes where there's so many things happening, you're just waiting to see who is going to die or what's going to die. Like, honestly, that was one of my favorite scenes in the movie was Howard's death. And it isn't even because his death itself is so good. It's the lead into it. Now we're going to talk the piercing shop. Now, this is interesting that this is on here. I mean, that's not even a death scene. It's a really good scene, however, though. And if you saw the trailer, the first trailer was of this scene. And you're like, there's fucking no way this guy's getting out of this. Even when you watch the scene, you think he's dead. Until he's just not, and he's like drinking a juice box getting hit by a car. Which I thought was great. Him walking around the neighborhood drinking a juice box was just amusing to me. But the piercing shop scene, regardless of not having an actual death, solid. It's going A tier as well. That one just knew how to build up the tension. It was my favorite use of music in the movie, the Air Supply song in there. As someone who has tattooed myself, this was just a good scene. Again, it doesn't really qualify to be on the tier list, but fuck it, we're throwing it on there. Next up is Julia, who is thrown into the trash. Honestly, this one was a little underwhelming. I didn't think the effect looked great. That was the only, I think, effect that I did not really like when I watched this movie, that I was like, I wish that looked better. And I couldn't even tell you exactly why I think that. There was just something off about it. However, the scene itself was very good, because you're thinking, wait, is this going to kill Julia? Is it going to kill Eric? It was tense in that way. I'm going to throw it in the B tier. I think it'd probably be an A if I liked the effect more, but what are you going to do? And then we have Eric in his actual demise, which I'm going to start off talking about it by just throwing it right in the S tier, because that scene, Eric and Bobby, let's throw them both right in there. That was the death scene of the movie. That's the one, baby. That's the silver tuna. I mean, if you know anything about MRI machines, you know how, scary the idea of something like this happening is. Now, I don't know how realistic exactly some of this stuff is, like being sucked across the room because of a piercing in your penis, but hey. Now, the whole plan they have to kill Bobby, basically, to bring him back to life, like he's eating peanut butter cups, off-brand peanut butter cups. It's great. It's just a very fun scene for these movies. It's very, I can see what they're trying to do. They very much embrace and acknowledge kind of like the rules from the past movies about killing somebody and getting their life, but more importantly, they come back to the whole thing of Final Destination 2, where you can be killed and kind of come back to life, and if you do that, you beat it. Supposedly. But to me, this is what takes the cake for this movie for sure. At one point, you start to think, they're not going to kill Eric. Huh. All right. And I think my big issue with there not being enough kills in this movie comes with the fact that that scene kills off two of them right there. The collapse doesn't really count. The piercing shot doesn't really count. So other than that, I mean, that's 5 deaths right there. You know what I mean? And there's only 3 more to rank. That's 8 on-screen character deaths, and it doesn't feel that way. Why doesn't it feel like that's not very many? I don't even know. And I think it's because, again, Darlene's is very underwhelming. I'm going to put her down there with Iris's. They deserved better, more interesting deaths. And I don't know, to some degree, you have to have some shocking ones that just kind of happen. The gore of Iris's death was better than Darlene's for sure, but... and then you've got Stephanie and Charlie. And while I'm talking about them, I'm going to throw them both in the B tier. They suffered the same fate at the end of the movie. I thought the whole train thing was a little ridiculous. Kind of while watching it, I was cringing a little bit. Now seeing the logs come over, that's fun. Seeing them get killed instead of getting to survive this movie, I appreciate that. I appreciate the effort and what they were trying to accomplish here. Maybe they knew how ridiculous they were being, and that was kind of the point, that a train is going to fucking derail and kill these people. And I don't know. It's just the effect of seeing them squashed by these logs did not look great either. I don't know what it is. All right, so that's the tier list. Quick overview. Eric and Bobby definitely had the best death. The MRI machine was nothing short of horror movie magic. Howard's was fun, and the piercing shop, while not technically a kill, fucking master of suspense for a scene. And then just finding out the character's alive afterwards, not even really hurt. I mean, well, that's it. Let me know what you think of this ranking in the comments down below. And if you like this video, be sure to check out this one and hit that subscribe button. Thanks for watching.